War on freedom going better than expected, say evil fascist rulers of Earth. New intelligence on Iran says, we don't know whether to attack them or not. In the UK, interest cut boosts seasonal greed, debt, and Chinese profits. Hello, landless peasant slaves. Welcome to the fucking news. I'm water-cooled. Here are tonight's top stories. The war on freedom has achieved a series of remarkable victories over a population of sleepwalking zombie sheep. Perhaps the greatest victory of all has been the destruction of liberty in America. For 200 years, the United States stood as a beacon of freedom for the world to aspire to and compare with their own illegitimate rule by despots, royals, generals, juntas, and other representatives of the few wealthy bankers who rule over us all with no trouble at all. Well, not anymore. Nope, the people of America are now well and truly owned. First, their finances were taken over by the wealthy bankers using the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. Then their industry was taken over by the military-industrial complex when they were hoodwinked into the Second World War. Shortly after the war, their government was overcome by outside influence. I'm not saying it's the Jews, but oy vey, it ain't the Tibetans. Military and intelligence operations began and continue to this day to create, enlarge and protect any fascist state that supports their rule. Then came 9/11, the biggest lie in modern history, enabling the evil bankers of Earth to strip the American people of its freedom in the name of national insecurity. Now the final frontier of liberty in the land of the free is under assault. Your mind. That's right. Not content with enslaving and indebting America with the biggest deficit in history. Not satisfied with total control of the media, the government, the army, the police. Now they must stop the few people left with an operating brain. All of them must be silenced by the final solution. H.R. 1955. The Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. An act to prevent homegrown terrorism and for other purposes. Other purposes? What the fuck are they? Anyway, these other purposes are the nails in the coffin of your right to protest or dissent in corporate America. If this act passes into law, all protesters will be terrorists. All demonstrations will be made by violent radicals. Any attempt to change the minds of others or promote a different point of view will make you a radicalizer. The idea of freedom fighters, justifiable resistance, freedom of speech, that'll all be history. And as President Bush said recently, there are no Mandelas. Mandela is dead. He may have been talking about Iraq, but the same will be true in the USA. No one will be a protester, or in the resistance, or a freedom fighter. All dissenters will be terrorists, shipped off to FEMA camps for reorientation, and Fox News will tell the sheeple they were planning acts of terror. The sheeple will of course let it happen as long as they can eat Cheerios and watch the NFL. And if I might add on a personal note, before your freedoms are gone forever, do you think some of you might consider rising up in a popular but entirely peaceful revolution, free from the use of force or radical thought and action, absent of any attempt to effect political or social change, and stop these evil fuckers? Because after you're gone, we're next. Come on, people. Big Brother isn't just watching you, he's kicking your ass. He's pinned you down and you're out on the count of 3. God bless the United States of fascism. Long lives the Fourth Reich. Rant, fink, slobber, slobber. In a related story, the National Intelligence Estimate on Iran this week concluded that Iran probably did once have a plan to develop a nuclear bomb, but halted this in 2003 and had not restarted it by mid-2007. There was an important proviso. We do not know whether it currently intends to develop nuclear weapons. Was that an intelligent report? I'm confused because it seemed to be saying, we don't know. Gee, I could write that report. Here's some other things we don't know. We don't know if Bush is still a coke-snorting drunk. We don't know if his family are still Nazi sympathizers. We don't know if Israel has infiltrated so much of the American government it might as well raise the fucking flag over the White House. We don't know if Pakistan's very real nuclear arsenal will be taken over by nutty religious fanatics who will launch salvos of nukes at the West, confident when they get to heaven 72 virgins will be waiting. We don't know if the royal family of Britain are shape-shifting aliens breeding humans for their brain-sucking relatives. We don't know if Diana was pregnant, if Dodie had proposed, if Trevor Rhys-Jones, the surviving bodyguard, lost his memory or just doesn't want to tell us what he knows. We don't know if there's enough matter in the universe to cause gravity to recompress the universe in a big crunch, leading to an infinite cycle of being. There's so much we don't know, but you know what? Let's bomb Iran just in case. It's not like America's reputation will suffer, know what I'm saying? In the UK, the Bank of England has cut interest rates by 0.25%, in a clear signal to consumers and other borrowers to get into debt for Christmas. The cut was widely expected and has been celebrated by retailers across the country, some of whom did not say, "It's great that the cost of borrowing has gone down. We love it when people borrow money and buy rubbish they don't need, especially at this time of year. I'm sure Jesus, peace be upon his theoretical existence, would approve. The whole Christmas experience is essentially a spiritual journey to the shops to buy unnecessary consumer goods made by Asian economic slaves from the destruction of the planet." And isn't that what we all need at this time of the year? A shared sense of involvement in the rape of the planet, the oppression of 1 billion Chinese people, and the empty consumerism and greed of retail therapy. I know I do. In a totally related story, Jackie Smith, the Home Secretary, announced a compromise deal on government plans to detain terror suspects for up to 42 days without charge, after initial plans were opposed by backbenchers. She did not say, "The police have informed me that even 42 days isn't enough time to beat confessions out of some people. So, instead of locking them up, we're just going to kill them. It'll be cheaper at the end of the day, and who's going to worry about a few less brown people anyway?" What's really important is that people continue to shop and the economy continues to grow, so we can afford the giant prisons my department announced yesterday, into which we'll put all the people not behaving just the way we want them to. Thanks. And now the weather. The planet's open for business and the shops are full of shit, so why not pop out and consume some stuff you don't need, at the expense of people so far away, you don't have to give a fuck about them. Have a nice weekend.